Hello, hello. Test, test. Chat, can you hear us? Hello? Can you hear us? Let us know. Brian, you want to give a test, test?
What's going on, everyone? I see some yups. I see an emoji that I have no idea what it is.
It's good yups.
Visuals are clear. Yeppers, fries charms.
Yeppers, fries charm. Hello, yes we do. All right, what is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm Mason Moreau, Digital Marketing Manager. We are here with an office hours stream. I'm joined by my colleague, Bryan Wynia. We're going to spill some beans today. How you feel about it, Brian?
I saw a bunch of chat when we were sitting here warming up, talking about Brian was looking over his NDAs and not to be afraid, they're just papers. I will
Yeah.
let you know that it might have come up that I need to break more NDAs at work. So yeah, we'll show you guys a bunch of cool stuff here in just a moment.
Excellent.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, let's just jump right into it. So before we even start to show you stuff, we want to give you guys a little context here. Mason has this deck that I want to thank Andrew Kirchner, our art director, and Chris Brown, one of our other artists at the team that does a great job of kind of putting all of our work together, presenting it, does a bunch of UI, UX work as well. And then obviously the entire team at Tripwire that is focused on Killing Floor 3. They've got a bunch of stuff here to show you. So as you can see, yeah, we got 21 slides. So I think, as you guys would say, it's a bunch of beans. So we'll dig right into that. Yeah.
And so, might I add, if you don't mind, Brian,
you got it.
Themed updates are a part of the Killing Floor DNA at this point, and I can, you can tell by what we're going to show today that the team is, taking all the stops, hitting all the stops for this update, pulling no punches, as it were. So let's get into it. Let me see if
they're putting a lot of effort into it.
Absolutely. Let me see if our Discord windows go away if I maximize this. This is office hours. This is like me and Brian are having a meeting, so it's not as dressed up as the usual. Looks like we're good.
Yeah. Cool. Brian, tell me where you bought that shirt, please. I think this was Creepy Co. So there's a place online called Creepy Co, and they were offline for a while. I don't know if they have this one anymore because it's like a licensing issue, but they just came back online and they got a bunch of cool kind of eerie, macabre, spooky Halloween tea type stuff. I have more of them that I would like to admit. And yes, I knew we were doing a Halloween one, but this is unfortunately just how I dress. So thankfully it kind of was slightly themed. But yeah, check out Creepy Co. All right, so to kind of set the stage for what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to be looking at our Halloween horrors. And one of the things that I wanted to do with some of these office hours is not only just be super transparent with you guys of what we're working on, but also kind of almost do a game dev 101 type lesson. What are some of the steps in building these things? How much work does this aspect go into? And for example, a lot of the planning for this Halloween update, this started the end of last year, and production started January, February. So we've been in Halloween for quite some time. So everything from level design, character art is a massive lift for this season, just due to the fact that we're reskinning essentially the primary cast of Zeds and one of our bosses. And I'm going to show those to you guys in a second. But yeah, just kind of wanted to set the stage of where we're at in development with this. So we're essentially traveling back in time a little bit to look at the concept art for these things.
For sure. At Tripwire, Halloween starts in February. So let's take a look at this first slide here.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to kind of start off talking about environment art and how concept art plays a role in it. So our level design team is led by Chris Goodwin. He and his team will kind of go through and start to block out what a map will be, and we'll have some loose understanding of what it may be. And one of the things we wanted to do for this update is essentially a haunted hotel. We've been saying things like Hotel Transylvania, but rated R. We just thought there was a lot of opportunity where we could look at everything from like the Haunted Mansion to Towers of Terror, stuff like that that have inspired us, and that really hasn't totally been explored yet within the world of Killing Floor. So that's where you start to see this kind of like early block out. And then our lead concept artist, Hakab, he gets a hold of this and he even jumps in 3D. So he'll start grabbing assets from this map. Obviously, you see a little bit of a call out to some previous Killing Floor stuff that he's used here. He'll paint over it, he'll throw down some lighting. So it's very early just to get a sense of the feeling. One thing that's really important when it comes to concept art is it essentially has two roles to kind of fill, and it's to inform and inspire. So when Hakab is making these images, he's trying to inform the level art team, this is what you're going to be building for the space, and here's kind of the goal and the finish line that you want to execute. But then also he needs to be inspiring the team and hopefully inspiring you guys as well, right? So it's like, okay, like I understand what the tone is, I see where they're going with this. And this is just one room of it, but this piece in particular kind of started to set the tone for what it was, and then we can kind of build upon that.
For sure. And I'm noticing this this creepy looking face here in the horizon in the background. Looks like he's got a bow tie on, glowing eyes, weird lips. Anything you can tell us about this guy?
I'd be interesting if chat knows where he's from.
Okay.
I'm sure quite a few of the hardcore guys know what that is from. But yeah, so
chat.
there'll be quite a few. I see Paranormal Activity and stuff like that. R.L. Stein, bro.
R.L. Stein, bro, nice.
I will say I was a generation that was raised on like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps and stuff like that. So you will see some of those inspirations. Like I saw someone talking about even Scooby-Doo. And one of the things I will say is this update is definitely a little more lighthearted, a little more KF2 style, where we're not trying to take ourselves seriously. There is an element that is much more fantastical as well here. So yeah, that's just one of these first images. Let's continue to look through some of these images, and we'll talk a little bit more about them. Now, you guys have seen this. It was in our roadmap, but right, it's like how many pixels big, and you really can't get into it a ton. So this was another piece that Hakab did very early on in the development of the Haunted Hotel, where we knew we wanted to do a seance room, and it was really a pivotal piece for us because even though it's this haunted hotel, there's like layers to the space. It's not just an abandoned hotel like The Shining and there's like blood on the walls, but it's like, what if these monster themed Zeds were staying in this hotel? What if they were having a seance in the basement of the hotel, and what would they be kind of conjuring up? And that's where Hakab just took that idea and started to run with it. So you see kind of like some subtle callouts to previous KF games. You see a lot of whole new elements to kind of added in the mix there.
Yeah,
you cannot. I saw a comment. You can't fall down there. We're making sure that you can't just like fall into like the empty void right there. But there are some things that you can trigger there to kind of attack Zeds and your enemies.
For sure. You know, I really feel like the haunted hotel seance room area is really sold by the over melted candles, green fire, this like particle effect happening in the distance, this some sort of magic, black magic, who knows? It just
there's all sorts of weird, creepy stuff in there. There is definitely a dev or two who has been building candles like consistently for quite some time now and placing them throughout the world, and then our lighting artist Dan is going through and lighting all this stuff, so they're doing a good job of bringing this space to life.
Heck yeah. All right, next slide here.
So when we do concept art, it's not only just like, hey, this is what the new map looks like, but we wanted to make sure that there is a lot of the traps. Hello in chat. Thanks for the nice call out. Really like the lighting. Yeah, they're doing a really fun job with lighting, and that's once again kind of like to inform and inspire. It inspires us of, oh, that's what the tone is, but then even that concept art informs our lighting artist Dan. Hey, this is kind of the vibe that we're going through, and Andrew Kirshner, our art director, does a good job of working with those teams. But that extends then to, we have all these really cool traps for all of these different maps. How do they apply here? And I'm really excited to say that there's one completely new trap that is specific to just this map, but then there's also a few traps that we have the kind of resources to reskin them so they fit in that space. So you see there that kind of like haunted portrait that opens this like void to the netherworld that would just like suck enemies in and they disappear and, you know, die and are stuck in that other world. That's essentially the fan trap, and we're able to use that design and those mechanics with some new art to make it really kind of fit within that space a little bit more. What it says looks a bit funny with a random multi-tool panel. Guess what? This is all, like, big preface, this is all work in progress stuff that you see. Even the multi-tool panels, those have new assets that are themed specifically for this map. I think the only things that might be in this map, I don't know yet. I think like Trader Pod is the only like semi-non kind of theme thing that's in there. But to your point, even the multi-tool box, it kind of has a cool Art Deco type piece that our team built for that. The other element you see down here is this is in that seance room. You can essentially conduct a seance in this space, and then that will cause these spirits to come rushing out of the wall. That is taking the laser trap that so many of you have enjoyed, and it's applying it with an artistic theme from the art to the audio so that it feels like it fits within this world and stuff. Will the multi-tool itself be reskinned? It will not be. Our weapons team is hard at work on some new content for a later update. So that's where we have that team kind of focused on making some new weapons for a new park. I don't know if I'm spilling too many beans on that one right there. I'll stay on Halloween.
I think you're good. Someone in chat had mentioned Scooby-Doo earlier. I feel like this is kind of where that comes in with the haunted portrait, you know, calling to mind the Scooby-Doo villain hanging behind the portrait. I mean, that's kind of a trope from a lot of spooky stuff, but I do remember seeing it a lot in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, we definitely want heavy tropes, heavy, strong themes that feels Killing Floor, but also feels very Halloween and also feels very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone asked if we're in Romania. I need to double check. I don't remember exactly where we placed this. I want to say you might be right. There's actually a kind of a little Easter egg in the build right now. Like when you're selecting maps, there is a section where you see like in the map selection where there is a kind of like a pumpkin, and that's kind of alluding roughly to where it's at. But I will need to get with the team and double check exactly where we placed it within the world. Cool. Let's check out a little bit more. Yeah. All right. So we're going to let this. Yeah, we'll let this one play. It might take it a second to load. But this is, once again, very work in progress. But this is the trap in the seance room, and it's got an audio pass on it. It's got rough lighting on it and all that type of stuff. We'll see if it loads. Once again, this is office hours. It's laid back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My thing is with the office hours is really keeping it to the level of like if you guys were to walk through the office and walk by the team's desks and see what they were working on to get as kind of an accurate representation of that as possible. Mason, if it doesn't load, we can just pull the videos down and share them in just a moment.
Cool, yeah. Whoops.
Boiler alert. Look at Mason spilling the beans.
Had to get one in, you know.
Right.
Oh.
And this is one of the other traps that, yeah, we'll make sure and pull these down for you so we can show you guys these. They're probably fairly large videos to be streaming right now within the deck. But we'll pull them down and we'll show them to you guys because one of the things I'm really happy about with these are the the audio elements that are in, even though they're a work in progress, they fit the space really, 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 really well. And then the lighting in there is really fun also. So we'll come back to those videos and we'll continue kind of showing you a little bit more of some of the other spaces.
Oh, okay.
What's it?
I have it
Fly
playing
trap.
in Google Chrome here.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Here we go.
Cool. So here's the seance room. And you see it activates that trap. You got Zeds spawning usually on the other side of that area. So as they rush to you, they just get completely nuked and obliterated. Very similar to the laser trap, but yet it fits within the theming of this space, and it creates some really fun kind of cinematic moments as you're on this side where Zeds are also spawning and kind of fighting them within this seance space. There are beans
Pretty
on the
sick.
floor, and I am scared.
Beans on the floor. As you can
That's
see,
a good one.
very work in progress. We've got like, you know, the dev widget here at the top.
Oh yeah. Yeah, our thing with office hours is we want to show you guys. Actually, there you can see the multi-tool panel kind of blocked out, but a lot of us are just pouring a bunch of love into this. You'll see some pumpkins, that those are kind of reskins of some of the ZTech resources. So you can go around and smash pumpkins in the map to gain resources. But there's this giant fly trap, very much inspired by the reskin Zeds from the KF2 Halloween event. You can see that they might have grown a little bit larger than intended. You can weaponize them to kill the other Zeds. AK, our art director, you guys hear me talk about him a lot. He's been doing a lot of work on this personally, just rolling his sleeves up. AK used to lead the team on environment art back in the day, so I think he's really enjoyed getting back in here, working on this thing, and it's really fun. It fits the space really well. It's nice too because it's just so different from, like, you have a hotel, you have this kind of like greenhouse area, you have a seance room. Even though it's one map, there's still a lot of different variety in there.
Right. Yeah, you know, if I was
Top Frag Dad said he wants to see the other video again. You want to see that one again?
Yeah, let's take. I got
trap?
the audio working on the video.
Cool.
Finally, so yeah.
Our VFX artist Brad did some really cool stuff where it's like it's kind of hard to see streaming in the video, but there's like weird little skulls and spirits flying through there. Someone got the fly trap poster with a teaser. He does love putting little Easter eggs and teasers for the future. That's like one of the cool things of like I would say it's one of the cool things, but it's also the challenging thing is like our teams have to work months in advance of what we're creating for you, because how long and how much effort and love and attention that we put in this stuff. So it's like, as developers, we're like trying to essentially see into the future. But that's also why we want to do these office hours with you guys, so you guys can kind of see where our heads are at and what we're working on, and we're watching your guys' videos and reading your guys' comments and trying to apply those as we're working on those. You know, I think like the last office hours, you guys, Tiago, our capture artist, was sharing a bunch of the stuff for Gunslinger, and we saw some really cool stuff there. But we also saw you guys had some feedback on like weapon audio and stuff like that, right? My mic is smack my mic. Here, 1 second. We'll try this. Is that a little bit better? I sound like a robot.
Audio's going robotic. Hello, hello.
Uh-oh.
It's the same.
Breaking Bryan! Maybe let's try to go off the videos and go to the images, and maybe we'll see if that clears it up.
How's that?
Testing, testing. It's only
How's
Bryan.
that, chat?
The ghosts are in my machine!
Let me,
no better. We'll let Mason do some,
Let We'll do some troubleshooting here.
Only Bryan. And of course, accuracy has to say that to me. Does we get another crazy Santa workshop? No. So this year we're only focused on our Halloween Horrors event, and we have some. How much the beans to spill? There is a seasonal element attached to the winter map, but we're not doing like a big Santa type thing. We're really putting all our efforts into doing Halloween seasonal completely right. Because once again, like our team is still working on these. Our character art team will spend a majority of the year, literally leading up to this event, just to reskin those things.
How's the audio now, chat?
Test audio. Well, hopefully that's better.
Still
It's
bad.
still bad.
Still bad. Brian's still cracking. 1 second.
Let me try something. It's all just backing me up to get a budget for a new mic. Is that what's happening here?
It may be on my end.
Testing. I agree.
Restart
yeah,
our
do you guys want to do a restart the call?
Yeah, we can restart the call. I'll stay live. We'll just
Okay.
We'll just pop over to a little
I'm gonna join
ambient
right back
animation.
to make sure you guys can hear.
Hello. Does it work? How is the audio doing?
Hello!
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
We hear you! I gotta take the teeth out. Now the weird thing's gonna be is, do you guys think that I just sit at my desk with fake teeth? Because the answer is yes, I
Better?
do.
Okay.
I sound better. Yeah, what's with the teeth? Sorry, it's just getting older. Put those
Where?
teeth in one time. Oh, wow.
There we
Yeah, Brian, what's up with you? Not much.
go. What's
We're
up?
just over here trying to stream.
Succeeding
All right.
occasionally.
Yep, we're getting there. Cool.
Okay.
All right, we're coming back. Thank you. Yes, becoming a foster clone. No one was silencing me, by the way. I was reading you guys' chats as we were just doing a little mic test and all that type of stuff. We want to do these a lot more often. There has been a directive at Tripwire to spill more beans. So on that note, let's just jump right back into it. Sound good?
Next slide.
All right, so let's talk about jumping into the Zeds, right? I'm a very, very, very big fan of Monsters Ball. I thought it was a flesh pound. Maybe those teeth were inspiration for when we were building the flesh pound, and subconsciously might have happened now. Good point. There's going to be some classic returning stuff that you guys enjoy, but then you are also going to see things that are completely new for the Halloween update as far as what Halloween version of a Zed might particularly look at. So we're wanting to give you guys stuff that you know and love, but also surprise you with some new things as well. So talking about Zeds, here we're looking at the Gorefast. Our super talented concept artist, Eric Tron, who you guys have met on a few of the streams. He's an awesome artist. He's awesome at playing the game. He's just kind of an awesome human being all around. He's done a great job of bringing these guys to life, and he did these concepts in like record timing. Once again, when doing seasonal events, I think character art and concept art for the character is usually the largest task. So it's really important that, like, you see Eric spent a lot of time focusing on the front design, and then the back design usually gets much looser, so that way we can get Eric on to designing the next ones. But it's enough information that our character art team has the information and inspiration they need to start building those things. All right, and I was waiting for someone to call this out. Well, their voice lines have a different tone. So there are currently a handful of Zeds that are talking in game. What is it? It's there's like 4 or 5 of them now. You got like Moorcroft, you've got the Scrake, you got the Stalker, the Bloat, the Fleshpound. We are currently working on doing all Halloween audio for the current Zeds that are talking. That's kind of why I bring that up. Matt Enton, our writer, he and I spent some time with the audio team writing new lines. Moorcroft's got a bunch of stuff. Spoiler alert, the boss is going to be Moorcroft. He's got some fun stuff going up. But yes, I know that audio is a big part of it, and our audio team and everyone at Tripwire is doing everything they can to make sure that we can get those versions of audio in there as well. Cool. Let's look at the next Zed.
I saw a lot of people in chat commenting about this one when I revealed it to you.
Oh, when it, yeah, when it kind of popped up. Yeah, this was a really fun one. The cool thing about this one is the Bloat has some new gameplay elements for KF3, right? Where he has no better way to say it than a sack that is growing and expanding and showing these new critical zones. It's also a really nice tell for animation, so you can see when he's kind of growing up. It provides a little window for you as a player to attack him before he kind of hits you with some pretty heavy damage of his bloat bile, right? This has a decent amount of comic inspiration to it as well. So this has a little bit of Swamp Thing, Man Thing vibes, and then we're really big fans of the film Annihilation, kind of some of the visual language and tone of that movie. So you can kind of even see some of that spilling into this as well. I'm really happy with the way this one came out. Like I said, pretty big comic book fan, and I might have bought more Man-Thing comics than I needed. But if anyone's asking, it was all for research and development.
Annihilation, top tier creature design as well. That bear skull thing.
Yeah.
So cool.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm. On to the next one. We have our Husk.
Yeah, so kind of bringing back a classic. This is one that worked really well in KF2, but we had some really interesting things to kind of design around here, where like he has a rocket launcher, and how do you do this? And then if you guys are not fully aware, you might not be able to see it with the speed of the game sometimes, but there's like a ton of love and attention and detail put into the Husk that's currently in game, where it's essentially like a almost like a dog leg, like a digigrade leg, and his legs are on like these pistons. You can actually see where it's like Horzine would have cut their legs off and given these kind of like boosters or springs to kind of jump and fly throughout the world. So we had to come up with, we were like, dude, how do we put this guy in like normal shoes to ride that same rig and kind of use those animations? And we're like, this is where we can kind of interject some of those fantastical elements where it's essentially like a knight who has been burned and kind of brought back to life. And we definitely see your comments about Nerf the Husk. Our design team has been sharing videos and all that. So we definitely hear you guys. And as soon as I have more info and we kind of work with the rest of the team, we'll make sure and keep you guys up to date on those elements that we're working on. But yeah, we see a good bit there. But yeah, this is a pretty fun one. Once again, worked pretty darn well for KF2, but we just wanted to give it a little bit of extra love and life and kind of fix it in there.
What's old is new again. Love it.
Okay, so this is a pretty fun one, classic, but one of the things that to me is pretty special about this is Samantha Rogers. You guys have met her before in the past on the stream talking about character art. She is our lead character artist, and we had to design so many of these that we came to back up Eric on some of this. So Samantha did some concept art, Donovan, another character artist, and then even myself, I knocked off the dust, grabbed my Wacom tablet, and we all tried to contribute as much as we could. So Samantha did a really good job of, the idea of the Invisible Man inspired with the Stalker and applying it here. She has some very, very, very fun lines that Matt wrote for her that are definitely creepy and fit this kind of new tone. Another part of, we talk about concept art is this, to me, what I love about it is it's like a very functional representation of production concept art, where you have material call outs, you have reference examples, you have text describing stuff. Once again, we're trying to inform and inspire the team of what we're building. And it's not about making a portfolio piece, but it's essentially about building a blueprint for the thing that you're going to be working on. So most of the time we'll do a series of sketches and spend as much time as we can kind of like refining thumbnails and exploring these different things that we can do. But with this one, time was definitely not on our side with the amount of work that we had to do. So we really had to look at how can we knock these out in a timely manner, but make sure we're delivering something that we're proud of and something that you guys are enjoying as well. Someone asked, are those knives on her hands taken from the Gore Fast blades? No, that is actually just in her base model. Her forearm will essentially bifurcate and kind of open up, and these blades will come out. So it's still the same gameplay mechanic, but just skin to fit within the season that we have here. Cool. New voice lines for the outfits. Yeah, the Zeds that are currently talking in game will get new elements as well.
Lore question: if she's invisible, how do blades go invisible?
Like her whole body, she has all these like it's actually there's like Eric posted a concept that he did where essentially built into her body are these like little lens cameras that kind of like, I think it was like they hook up to her nervous system that would essentially take in information for the outside world and then reproject it through her kind of skin. So it's not even the fact that she's invisible. Lore wise, it's essentially a camera projecting what is behind onto the front of it. We tried to actually base it on some like real world military stuff that they're testing. Just deep lore stuff there for you, but that's kind of the idea behind it.
Well, even tying back to the Invisible Man, the more recent
They did a very
remake of
similar
it
thing.
is very, very similar in its approach, where it's like optical illusion type technology.
Yeah.
So let's check out the Scrake.
Cool. Props to anyone who gets a Yellow King reference. You are cooler than most. The element here is we wanted to do something new. We wanted to lead into the chainsaw aspect, and then just kind of going with this essentially very Jason Voorhees kind of part 2 version is what we wanted to lean into with this version. So I think he kind of makes definitely a bunch of mommy references like Jason would have if he ever kind of communicated. But this was one I was really happy to see, and I think Eric did a fantastic job of concepting it. So you see he has to do not only like little decal call outs, but then where we have these different stages, a simple back view. Once again, just trying to inform the team, hey, this is what we're looking to build, right?
For sure. Even this chainsaw giving me a bit of nostalgia for that OG Nintendo GameCube controller that was a chainsaw. I think it was a Resident Evil 4 tie-in, if I remember. Super cool though.
Yeah, someone said, the grappling hook looked like something out of like Texas Chainsaw or Leatherface. Then we always looked at the Scrake as elements of Jason and Leatherface that we enjoyed and kind of pulling it in. So you see that same thing here, but just with a little bit more like 80s slasher vibe, but still trying to fit within this kind of once again, it's almost like Haunted Mansion, Scooby-Doo, Hotel Transylvania, but rated R type vibe that we have. So it kind of fits some of those classic KF2 elements that you guys enjoyed with some of those seasonal updates.
For sure. On to the Flesh Pound. This one might be my favorite. I'm a sucker for a lizard guy.
Yeah. This is definitely a really fun one. My personal favorite kind of classic universal monster was always the creature from the Black Lagoon. That worked really, really, really well on KF2, and we wanted to take not only that idea but build upon it in KF3, but then also make sure that the gameplay mechanics where the flesh pounder, the pounders on the flesh pound have the ability to detach and kind of be these big whips, turning those into essentially like decommissioned sea mines that are covered in barnacles and stuff like that. So humanoids from the deep. I can tell that Top Frag Dad and I have the same hide your kids, hide your wife. Yes. Very, very, very good movie. Very, very good, very bad movie. But yes, Humanoids from the Deep might have been a reference that I wasn't ready to spill the beans on for this one, but there you go.
If any
merman energy, all right.
If any video editing inclined community members out there feel inspired by editing this guy into a scene from Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water, be our guest.
Right. Yeah, this is the protein shake version of that guy.
Yeah, sure. Totally.
The Lovecraftian Dagon hybrid, I'll take that as well. Big Lovecraft fan. That's kind of, you see some of those other Yellow King and little references like that. A lot of Moorcroft and Meyer stuff was just our subtle nod to kind of the eldritch horror and things from beyond and, entities older than time itself and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you kind of see some of those elements. Cool.
Here's
in honor of Dagon, so to speak. Cool.
So what do we do in our Flesh Pound?
Oh yeah. So
Crit
this
zones.
What I enjoyed that Eric did is the flesh pound in those areas, that's where Z-Tech armor normally is. And if you see in the previous image, they're kind of like barnacles and other little pieces. We still need to support those gameplay elements when we're working on this. So once again, very functional concept art. It's not just a reskin. Like, a lot of thought, a lot of attention has to be applied to these, where it has to ride the same rig. We needed to utilize the same animations. We need the gameplay to still be kind of as clear as it was previously. So this is Eric communicating with a piece of concept art. What does it look like when those areas that were previously Z-Tech, that are now like barnacles and fins and faceplates, what do those look like when they're destroyed as well?
Sweet.
So jumping into a little bit of 3D, this is something where I was telling you guys, where the character art team and even myself, we jumped in and helped AK and Eric with some of the character concept art because we had to do so much. So Donovan, one of our senior character artists on the team, super talented guy, literally like the easiest human being to work with ever. I got to work with him a good bit on some of the stuff you're going to see here in a minute, and it was a blast. This dude like hammered these things out so fast. They're just rough sculpts that once again kind of ride the same rig and can utilize the same animations, but yet give it a whole kind of new life. And we were very much inspired by the essentially first way that a zombie had ever been kind of communicated. It is very straightforward. It is very Night of the Living Dead, just very, very, very classic, right? Please note, just a work in progress. This is just a rough digital sculpture done in ZBrush. You're going to see a little bit more, but all of this is a work in progress. I saw a version of this guy yesterday where the texture work and the way it appears in game is fantastic. Like what Donovan was able to do with this one, it just brings a lot of life to it. Like especially the texturing of the face and kind of like the feeling of like really thin skin. And he's emaciated, but yet he still feels like a threat. So really, really fun stuff. And yeah, glad you guys are seeing kind of some of the Romero type stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny as a developer where you're like, they're not zombies, they're Zeds. This, we are leaning into it a little bit, right? This is our zombie version of it, and it can definitely kind of fit within this update that we're building for you guys. All right, so here's a fun one. This was a really unique challenge. We worked with one of the other character artists, Hammy at the time, and he did some really fun stuff where he was taking the siren and turning her into the bride. Now, the update on this Zed provided like a ton of challenges because she had so much Z-Tech type elements to her, with like the extendable neck and kind of like the chassis on her. So he did a really cool pass where it was leaning into kind of some of those like maybe slightly steampunky but Victorian, just like we looked at a lot of like the original Frankenstein and looking into Dr. Frankenstein's lab and some of the shape language of Tesla coils and his machinery and stuff like that, and applying it to this. So this is just a very rough 3D concept that Hammy blocked out. Hammy built the original siren as well, so he was definitely very knowledgeable of the mechanics of not only the gameplay, but how she was built and then how this kind of applied. And I really like I'm a sucker for a good skull, and I will give you like creature design tip 101. If you give creatures really long teeth, and not necessarily like sharp, but you expose like the root of the teeth, it's a really good way to create something unsettling that people feel kind of like icky and uncomfortable about, because as human beings, like, we know that those things are supposed to be in our head. So the idea of like these exposed long loose root teeth, it just creates kind of a very unsettling reaction when you see that there.
Indeed.
Some fun responses in there.
Yep.
So this is one that I worked on with Hammy. This was actually the very first seasonal Zed that, yeah, I think this started in January or February, where I did like a really rough sculpt of the head in a program called ZBrush. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what that is. It's a digital sculpting program that works pretty much just like digital clay. So what I did is Samantha provided me with the low poly in-game animation mesh for the original clot. And then there's a tool inside ZBrush called Dynamesh that essentially just kind of resurfaces the mesh so that I can then sculpt on it. And it's like a blank canvas that has all of the proportions of that Z, but yet I can kind of get in there and start to change it. Like this guy is definitely a little bit beefier and has a little bit more of a hunch, but all of the joints are in the same place. Yes, ZBrush. That's
ZBrush.
exactly how it's called. I know if we have any Australian fans out there, they call it ZBrush. That caught me
There
off
you
guard
go.
for a while there when I was teaching. We kind of broke the mold a little bit with the teeth. I really wanted to do these like really, really, really big vampire fangs and mouth that read in distance and at speed of how the game is kind of going. So we did some really quick tests. Hammy did them. That was really nice seeing how, like, is there a ton of clipping? Is it an acceptable amount of clipping on the teeth? We also really had to look at a lot of these meshes in the context of when they execute you. And you might have those few moments where they're in your face, kind of doing their thing. Do they read that way? Is there anything broken there? Stuff like that. So it was fun to kind of dust off the Wacom, get back to work, and build some stuff. And then Hammy brought this guy across the finish line. But this is just the rough concept sculpt. And he did a really good job of bringing it to kind of a new level.
Looks sick. Real like man bat vibes.
So this is a question I was definitely going to bring up, and I'm glad when you guys brought it up. Will they be timed or gone after the event? We would love to know what you guys think. We have some thoughts and plans. We're still kind of working on them, just to be always transparent with you guys. There is the idea that no matter what time of year it is when you come to Haunted Hotel, that the Halloween Zeds will always be in that space. So that's one of the things we're kind of currently looking at. Someone has the idea for Halloween mutation. That's pretty interesting. Skins for winter not possible. Yeah, to that point, it's like I said, we're literally spending all year reskinning the Zeds just for this. That being able to do that for winter is not possible, but we still have a pretty fun winter update plan for you guys. That I'll spill the beans on that one in the near future. I almost had 2 slides about the new map for winter in here, but I wanted to save some stuff. So for Halloween, with the current time that we have, and then based on how you guys have really enjoyed the new boss, we felt that that was the best boss to kind of rework for the Halloween event here. And Moorcroft, if you guys have gone kind of through the story stuff and stuff like that, you'll definitely get a sense of the story of Frankenstein and, you know, like man trying to play God and all of these kind of like subtle things there that we just felt even who he was. And with the design here, that kind of a Frankenstein's creature would be a really good pass at this.
For
I
sure.
got
This
to do
one
some
I
sculpting on this. We'll show soon too. Eric and I kind of like worked on this one together. It was fun. It was fun to get back into it.
would you call like I feel like this aesthetic is like slightly steampunk.
Yeah, yeah,
Like scream punk
yeah, like
or something.
absolutely. Like you know, some of the steampunk stuff that was in KF2, a lot of the fans really kind of enjoyed elements of that. And I think with kind of like just some of the aesthetics of what the map is and, you know, like looking at the siren, yeah, pouring some of that in here, I think works well. I just love that he has not had his brain put into him yet. Like you guys might
Right.
not be able to tell that, and we'll kind of the next office hours, I want to pull up some of these models and walk you guys through like the modeling and texture process of not only the Zeds, but some of the map stuff. And we did some stuff where we're like, oh, he's got to have this like glass thing and his brain's in there. And like, that's the critical zone. But we're like, no, his critical zone is always his, essentially his face, but then the element on his shoulder. So we're just like, dude, we should just cut the top of his head off and it's just like an empty bowl. Like while whatever doctor was building him didn't get a chance to finish him, it's just this kind of like fun, empty, gross, bloody bowl where his brain normally would go. So
For sure. And clearly this critical zone is connected in some way to his heart.
yeah.
So it still kind of communicates that.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. I think we have a video here.
Yeah, let us know if this breaks audio or anything like that for us.
Oops.
But oh, the beats, Mason.
Office hours.
Office
Blame
hours.
office hours.
So, once again, want to reiterate, very, 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 very much a work in progress. Part of the development process is getting these things built in a way that we can get them in game and continue to work on them, right? So we'll do a rough model, we'll do rough textures. So these guys are still being textured, their materials are still being worked on. One thing is when you design a cast of characters, you kind of got to do this pass to unify everything. So as a group, Samantha made this video for us to look at where it was like, okay, there's not enough textural detail on this character. This character's too bright, this character's too dark. Eric comes and does a paint over of all of the characters in a lineup, and then the character art team can do essentially like the shippable pass of being able to apply that. So yeah, like I really like the way the bloat came out here.
Sick.
I think he had a little bit of notes, but not a ton. But especially in that greenhouse room, he looks fantastic.
Yeah. There's our
Like
fish
there,
pound.
there's some details that we're still working on, but Samantha's done a really good job blacking that out. There you see kind of Moorcroft with the top of his skull cap missing. He wasn't really finished being built before he went back out there. And then you guys are even getting a little bit of a glimpse of the map space as well that Misty, our environment lead, her team, and then Chris and Corey, the level design guys, they've put a ton of love into that space.
For sure.
There are some new songs. Yeah, Rocky's doing some kind of new Halloween tracks there that you're kind of hearing in the background. Even that's a work in progress. We're still kind of iterating on. But yeah, audio guys are making sure to bring their kind of A game to this as well. Okay, so you saw a little bit of it. Cat's out of the bag. Let's do it.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. Well, we've got this Halloween hub.
Yeah, we got this. But even this, I think, is a pretty big one to look at because this is something that we always wanted to do, but we just simply did not have enough time for to really make a meaningful impact on. But, we've seen a lot of your guys' feedback about like just the hub having a little bit more life. And there are things that, we've seen your guys' ideas and we had similar ideas, but a lot of it just comes down to like the amount of time to work on these things and really make it work. And one of the things that we have time for and for this Halloween update to really make it that much more impactful is even when you're inside the stronghold, there is the idea of like essentially Nightfall's having a Halloween party before they go out and kind of crush Zeds and take the fight to Horazine and Moorcroft and all the baddies and all that good stuff. So it was really nice to see Hakab and AK collaborate on this element. And then the big thing, yeah, you guys can see over there
Over on the right.
Chicken cosmetic that let's just jump right into it.
Flock and load.
If all of our Zeds are getting some Halloween update to them, we need the team at Nightfall to be able to kind of combat Zeds in a Halloween costume as well. We do have multiple Halloween costumes and cosmetics that we're working on that I think you guys will enjoy, but I didn't want to spill all of the beans on that just yet, but I did want to share basically a fan favorite here. So the head is set up where it can be removed. There are different color options of this as well. So within the supply pass, you'll be able to, like if you wanted to wear Mr. Foster's mask, but then the body of Chicken Commando, you could. If there's a particular DJ Scully helmet or mask you like, and you'd prefer that with this, or if you want to run around as Mr. Foster in his base suit, but give him, Chicken Commando head, you have the option to kind of do that as well. So yeah, bringing back some of the KF2 wackiness. Yeah, it's very interesting how each game has a little bit of its own identity, and I think the elements for Halloween in KF2 we were very much inspired by. We read a lot of you guys' feedback, and we knew that was something that you guys really enjoyed, and we just wanted to embrace that, and we hope you guys enjoy that. Now, that's one thing here. Let's even expand upon it. So let's see the next one. So that's even where there is a version that is the Chickenator version.
Chickenator.
Right? Obviously, we know what this is all inspired by. So being able to kind of like work through the supply pass and get the variations of these costumes to wear. Like you even notice when this guy was built, like if you go, do you mind going back one, Mason? The idea that this is like costumes for Nightfall, like this is almost like a pajamas type material, if you go to the next one, you can see that those are like actual like a full on like feather like big bird looking style costume that a specialist would wear, like a member of Nightfall. And so character art did that. Like those full on have cards, they are very much in the same vein and style, but they are different options for you to kind of look at. Yeah, and the hand is looking sick. Yeah, Eric had to do a call out for that, because what does that look like in first person, right?
And it's, a full-on homage to Mr. Arnold and the Terminator franchise for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're going to have the ability to mix and match all these. You can put them on anyone that you want. Like the team at Nightfall is fully embracing Halloween. And as we do more office hours, we will make sure and kind of show you guys some of the other cosmetics that we're working on that kind of have this same level of Halloween and humor, but kind of creepy cool to them as well. Bring back our beloved Dar. You're trying to get me in trouble now, I feel like, with that one.
I can't wait to be hopping in when this is live and it's just everyone's a Chickenator. And we're just running around this haunted hotel
Yeah.
destroying what is essentially a museum of horror.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is basically the look at concept art. And I know we went slightly out of concept art, and we had ghosts get into the stream. So thank you guys for being patient and sticking around and watching some of this stuff. We are going to be doing these a lot more often. Like I said, there's been a big push to, as you guys say, spill more beans or break NDAs and all that type of stuff. I see everyone wants beans charms. I think we need to have like a burning NDA weapon charm or something like that. Brian, you have the best opportunity to release the Halloween crawler plush. I love that idea. If you know someone that can make that happen, please let us know. That's pretty darn cool. But yeah, our goal is to really give you guys an inside look about our process and all the work that goes into this. And then I just feel incredibly privileged to be working with this super talented team and the stuff that they are working on, that I want to share it with you guys as much as possible. So we don't have an exact date, but we're going to be doing another office hours where Mason and I are going to be showing you guys more detailed look, probably into some of the environment art aspects, some of the VFX. I just saw a bunch of cool stuff today where there's like a library section, and there's literally like books floating and flying off the walls. There's kind of some Ghostbuster references with stacked books. So the team is just putting a bunch of love and attention to detail into it, and we want you guys to see what it takes to kind of um, what it takes to bring all of this to life. It's something that we care a lot about, and we appreciate you guys. We love playing with you guys. We love watching your videos, and we appreciate your comments. And yeah, Mason,
Yeah, I
get
mean,
in the most
echoing
call.
everything you just said. I love hopping in here, talking to the chat, talking to you. Always impressed by what the team delivers with these updates. There's always something new, always something really just spectacular to look at. Constant eye candy. And this update is no different. So, hats off to the team again. Super excited for this to be live in, what is it, 2.5 months?
Something like that. Halloween's
Yeah,
just
something
around
like
the
that.
corner. It's been Halloween since January or February, so yeah.
Right.
That's one of the things, so you guys know too, is like not only do we have all this time to build stuff, but then we got to test it, work
Mm-hmm.
on it, play it. Hey, this is broken. This is, not where it needs to be just yet. It needs a little bit of extra love. So we'll make sure to keep you guys in the loop, keep sharing stuff that we're working on with you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out and doing another office hours with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Keep being awesome, everyone. Until next time, we've been your friends at Tripwire.
Stay
Take it
spooky,
easy.
guys.
Stay
Later. We'll
spooky.
talk to you soon.